Happy New Year, everyone. I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, we open the show with a conversation with Dave Schmidt, who retired as the Elgin Fire Chief in January after a very successful 30-year run in that department. Chief Schmidt will travel down south to become Fire Chief for a city in North Carolina. Great fun it was to talk with Jen Keller, who wrote the book, The Many Faces of Elgin, a publication that was well received by all of our citizens, especially if you were in it. Janice Hare, co-chair of the 2020 Dr. Martin Luther King Prayer Breakfast Weekend Celebration, has information about that weekend, which goes from January 18th to the 20th, with the breakfast taking place at Elgin Community College and Building E. Siegel's Cabinet Center is where the Mayor David Kaplan segment travels to this month. The mayor and myself talk with Mark Siegel, who can trace the family business all the way back to 1892 in Elgin. He also tells an amazing story of how the Siegel family name evolved. Amanda Harris, the City of Elgin's Cultural Arts Manager, tells us about 3 new workshops slated to take place at the Hemmons Cultural Center on Saturdays in January. Also, she has information about a mini Fringe Festival, also slated for this month as well. I speak with Kate O'Leary, the City of Elgin's Special Events Coordinator, about their Daddy-Daughter Dance, always popular. It's slated for February. Kate also reminds us about an open house for the Eastside Recreation Center of Elgin. They're loaded with workout equipment and more. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today. We caught up with then-retiring Fire Chief Dave Schmidt for the Elgin Fire Department at his office at Fire Station No. 1 on Summit in December. The chief on January 3rd retired so he could become a fire chief down south in Carolina. Before leaving, we talked about the 30 years of service for Chief Dave Schmidt, the Elgin Fire Department.
30 years ago, first of all, I can't believe how fast it's gone. And when I came through the door on my first day, talked to a lot of firefighters, and they're like, don't blink, because in a blink of an eye, your career you'll hit 30 years. And I'm, yeah. And they're exactly right. I cannot believe 30 years has flown by. But, 30 years ago, I came in the door wide-eyed, excited, just wanted to make a difference, wanted to help the community, excited about the community we were in, and it's played out exactly how I would want it to. I've had a marvelous time here. I've had a phenomenal career. Been able to help a lot of people, been able to make a difference in the community, been able to improve the fire department, and just work with some outstanding people throughout my career. And that's probably what I'm going to miss most, is just the people that are here and how much they do, and just the commitment they have to the city to provide the best level of service we can.
You come from a fire background.
I do. I am a second-generation firefighter. So my dad started in Rolling Meadows, so I'm probably about 5 or 6 years old. I knew that's what I wanted to be. I grew up in the firehouse in Rolling Meadows, so it was just a natural transition for me to migrate to find a full-time job when I was old enough to start taking tests. But yeah, this is all I've ever wanted, so it absolute dream come true.
As we look back to 2016, you're interim chief in August, but you're named official chief on your birthday, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a crazy thing. It just happened to fall on October 25th, but just kind of waiting for everything to happen, for everything to get settled. And John was still on the books, and so they couldn't make an official announcement until October, and it just so happened to fall on my birthday. So it was my 50th birthday, so it was a very special day for me.
On November 18th for the public ceremony, Dad's there, is he not?
Yeah, when I was, when I was notified that I officially had been accepted in the position, we started talking about the public ceremony, and my dad at that year was having knee replacements. So I initially had looked at the following week, beginning of November, and he wasn't medically cleared to travel down from Grand Rapids. So we put off the ceremony a couple weeks so that he could make it down, because he wouldn't want to miss it. And I've got pictures in my office actually from that day, because my brother's in the fire service too. He's in Streamwood as a battalion chief, and so we have some wonderful pictures of the 3 of us. And I know Dad will be here on my last day in the walkout ceremony. He's going to be in his dress uniform again, and a lot of pride for him too. But I was very happy that my brother and I both followed in his footsteps.
September 17th, the 150th anniversary, was a big event for you.
It was very exciting. It was nerve-wracking. Just what exactly we were to do. There's not a lot of departments that are that old, and so looking around, we kind of got some different ideas, but we had a tremendous amount of help from Kristen Sundquist, from the Elgin History Museum, several different organizations in town. We threw a big shindig on Saturday afternoon at Fire Museum No. 5 on St. Charles Street, and just kind of walked through the history, and had some flyers and a bunch of information, and had an open house at the museum, and so it was a great day.
As we walk around here at Station 1, what are you gonna miss?
This is where I started. Our academy was here, but my first assignment for my first 5 years was here on Engine 1. So this will probably be the station that I miss. Actually, it'll be a tie, because when I was promoted to captain in 2005, and we went to Station 6, and what I loved about Station 6 was it was a firehouse in the neighborhood, and that was what I loved about coming to the city of Elgin. Was it wasn't a suburb, it was a city, and we're across the street from Dairy Queen, so we had kids coming in to visit and tours, and so that'll probably be the station I miss the most. But this will probably be this is a close second. But just looking at the walls and just looking at the gear rack, it just brings back all sorts of memories of just different calls. And you look at the rescue raft here behind me, and this is the second generation, but this was purchased after Lieutenant Balsas and firefighter Whalen passed away in the dam. We changed our tactic and started buying watercraft specifically for the dam. So you think about those, the training, and then you look at the ambulance and how the ambulance has changed, and just how we've changed delivery of service.
And certainly great service it has been for 30 years for the Elgin Fire Department for retiring Chief Dave Schmidt. Here on this edition of Elgin Today, we're going to get a chance. Tabletop we are right now. You are?
I am Jen Keller, the author of The Many Faces of Elgin.
And you're a great writer. Tell us where we're at and why we're here.
Hi, we're at Arabica at 59 Douglas in downtown Elgin. This is where I did the majority of my interviews for my book. Loved being here, loved the energy. The owners are awesome. It was a great place to do the interviews.
Many Faces of Elgin's wonderful publication. You've got pictures of folks that we know real well in Elgin and some of their stories. How did it come about that you created this publication?
In 2015, my husband and I took a long road trip around the country. We were in Santa Fe, New Mexico at a dinner party, and everybody was telling these amazing stories, and I kept thinking, I wonder if I could do something like that. Could I tell the stories of local people from our home community? I randomly asked on Facebook, and all these people responded, and I spent the next 3 years telling the stories of, I think it was over 40 different people here in town.
This is your first publication. How many folks are in the book?
I think if I remember, there's 44 people that told me their stories.
And you've got great response from it. There's talk of another publication, another book. Isn't
there? The first book sold out in a couple of months. I was really proud of it, and I've had a lot of people asking, yourself included, if I'm going to do a second book, and right now I'm thinking about it. I haven't decided for sure.
Let's hope we can make the cut maybe next time. No, that's delightful. It's a great showcase for Elgin. You tell me how you got to this city.
I followed a guy. Like a lot of the people in the book, they were either born here or they followed someone here. And in 2002, I followed my now husband, and we've been here ever since. I think that's the 17 years that I've lived here.
Wow, wonderful. And what do you like about Elgin?
I love the people here. Before I started the book, I really felt like I didn't have a connection to the community. Wonderful. And now that I've worked on this book and I've met all these people, I just love the people here.
You get folks pictures in a publication. They come to you, don't they? It's wonderful.
They do.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Bensonville, right by O'Hare.
Benton High School did you go to?
Yes, I sure did.
You're a Bison then, aren't you?
I am a Bison.
Oh, how nice. That's a fine. They're now on the same conference as Larkin and Elgin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Congratulations.
Well, awesome.
So sports-wise, we're tied together now.
Awesome.
It all goes together. Well, that's wonderful. And as you look to that next publication, it's you published yourself, didn't you?
I did. I self-published it, and it was really hard to do that, and I don't know if I'll be able to do that again. But it was a learning experience for sure to do it that way.
No question. And folks really, when you brought them into right here to Arabica, they talked well, didn't they?
They did. I was really surprised that people were so willing to just share their story with me. I said, "Tell me whatever you want," and they talked away, and I typed. Right. It was awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of wordage there, no question. You are a teacher, is that right? What do you teach?
I teach German at Harlem High School in McChesney Park, north of Rockford.
Wow, so you travel, you leave Elgin daytime but come back home at night.
Yeah, I do. I travel 500 miles a week, so.
Say, my entire family loves Elgin. Say that.
Meine ganze Familie liebt Elgin.
We echo those words. No question about it. Well done, my dear. We appreciate that. So we wish you well and look for another publication coming our way. Awesome. And so glad that you found that man that lived in Elgin and chose Elgin as well.
Yeah, me too. I really am. I'm very grateful that I live here. I love it.
Of course, it's Many Faces of Elgin that we talked about, and you're Jen Keller.
Yep.
So we'll make sure we get that out.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. You can either under The Many Faces of Elgin or Jen Keller. I'd love for you to reach out and say hi.
All right, wonderful. That's how it all began back in 2015, and we appreciate that it's put Elgin on the map because this publication that you see right there is wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll wait for the next publication right there. Jen Keller, Many Faces of Elgin. We appreciate that. Let's pose right now as if we're taking that photo now. Can we do it? Many Faces of Elgin, Jen Keller.
Hello, my name is Janice Hare. I'm one of the co-chairs for the 2020 Dr. Martin Luther King Prayer Breakfast Weekend celebration here in the city of Elgin. The breakfast will begin on January the 18th at Elgin Community College in Building E. The doors will open at 8 o'clock. The program will start at 8:30. We would love to see you there. You can continue to purchase tickets from the City Hall. All the information is located on cityofelgin.org's website.
Following Monday, there's a great event for the youngsters.
Yes, we will have a day of service where all the children in the community will come together and be part of this wonderful event to celebrate the legacy and the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. Yes, it's at the Heritage Ballroom, and the program starts at 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We will provide everyone with a lunch, and then we will also have a live band, a wonderful speaker. We will be presenting the awards to the speech contest winners at that time as well.
We were there last year. The kids enjoyed that atmosphere, didn't they?
Yes, they had a great time. They had a wonderful time. And we hope to even have more children here this time. So we are excited again. This is going to be an awesome, wonderful weekend for the city of Elgin.
Our favorite Joe Wars is always involved with the great food drive.
Yes, he is an awesome trailblazer. He can do almost anything when it comes to helping others and feeding others. We will be collecting food and presenting it at the Church of the Brethren to distribute it throughout Elgin community. We are really proud of our Mr. Joe Wards.
And throughout this month of January, we can give food at City Hall and other places, can't we?
Yes, you can. Your Jewel's Food Store, your Myers Food Store, Target. You can drop off food all through Elgin.
How does this day make you feel?
Proud to be an Elginite right about now. I am really excited to be involved, to be a volunteer in Elgin, and to do things that help others.
Well said, Janice Hare. And again, congratulations on all your work with the Dr. Martin Luther King Committee over the years. And the Dr. Martin Luther King breakfast is slated for Saturday, January 18th. That'll take place at Building E on the campus of Elgin Community College. Doors open at 8 a.m. The program gets underway at 8:30. Ticket information at cityofelgin.org. It's time for our first segment with Mayor David, Captain of the New Year. Mayor, how are you, sir?
Good morning, Jeff. We're doing really well today, and it's a good way to kick off the new year. And one of the things that I've been wondering about, and that's kind of bothered me, is people always say that the businesses and residents are leaving the state of Illinois, and that's not necessarily true everywhere. I want to talk this year, and I'm going to do a number of segments, I think, about people that stayed and businesses that have stayed. And today we're out at Siegel's Cabinet Center with Mark Siegel, and a longstanding business in the city of Elgin. And I'd like to start out, and we can talk to Mark and ask Mark how his family came to Elgin and how long they've been here.
Wonderful. You go back further than Grover Cleveland, so you go back to the 1880s family-wise, don't you?
Well, my grandfather came over to Elgin in 1892.
Wow.
His only trade was a fruit peddler. In fact, the last name wasn't even Siegel; it was Haimovich.
Wow.
He was
Can you spell that for us?
Good luck with that. And the only trade he knew was fruit and produce. And so he bought a wagon, didn't have the money to repaint the wagon, which said Siegel Produce on the side. So
Wow.
he changed his name from Haimovich to Siegel to
Really?
avoid, to
So
avoid
the
having-
wagon changed the family
wagon
name?
changed, yes. So
Wow.
I don't have any relatives by the name of Siegel, except my immediate family.
And Grandpa came over, great-grandpa in 1892?
My grandfather,
Grandfather.
came over in 1892.
You're still a young man, though. I like that.
Well, thank you. Came over in 1892.
That's incredible. And that's a great Elgin story, isn't it?
It is, and I think there are many stories like that in our city, and people have they came here, became residents of the city of Elgin, and made their families and their lives here. And Mark, what happened? How did you get into? You went to the lumber business, and now you're in the cabinet business. Talk about the transitions.
Well, my dad was born in Elgin, 1909, a proud graduate, as I am, of Elgin High. He was class of 26. I'm class of 1976. And he, with his partner, originally were in the scrap business. Some people may remember Elgin Selvage. And then in 1941, he had the opportunity to buy the Elgin Lumber Company, which traces its roots to the east side of Elgin, where the center is now, in 1881. And so they purchased Elgin Lumber in 1941, and the family has owned it since. And today, we're just in the cabinet business here on Davis Road with facilities throughout the Chicago metropolitan area.
So the T-shirt we see everybody wearing right here, 1881, is with that start of the lumber.
Is the original start of Elgin Lumber Company.
That's
The,
good.
the housing recession took a toll on the lumber business, so we exited that category and today concentrate on cabinets and countertops.
Well, we're in your cabinet and countertop showcase, and we're moving in right here, young man. It's great.
Would love to have you move in.
All right, deal. I'm in, Mayor.
Yeah, it's wonderful and beautiful things here. And I think that Mark really touched on something that's important for businesses. And I talk to business owners all the time, and I say one of the things you have to do is you have to adapt. You have to look at what's going on around you and the climate around you, the economic climate, the demographics, and you have to adapt your business. Otherwise, eventually you'll fail, and I think that is one of the keys. And one of the obviously one of the rougher businesses to be in is the restaurant business. And they become very faddish, and the world can change around you. You don't do anything any different, but all of a sudden your business starts to struggle. And Mark, you've seen changes in home building. You've seen changes in housing construction. What do you think of that?
Well, the numbers are unfortunately pretty dismal. Back in 2004, 2005, almost 35,000 homes were built in the greater Chicago area. It went down to 3,000 in 2009. Today, we're just about 7,000. So modest recovery, but not like the good old days. But obviously, as you indicated, we have to strengthen our position in the remodel market, continue to concentrate on the regional and also the national builders. We're fortunate to be here in Elgin, which for the past several years has been one of the strongest markets for new housing construction. So it's great to be here in Elgin.
And we are seeing a shift, and I discussed it at the State of the City address, that we are still one of the leaders in housing, in starts, but they're not necessarily homes. There are apartments, and this year in Elgin, we're building over 400 apartments for different types of people. And we have people that are learning disabled, we have people that have mental illness, we have seniors. We're also building some market rate apartments up on Randall Road, 250 market rate apartments. So it really, for Mark's business, I think it causes a change in the way that they have to look at things as well. And when you have people that are handicapped, they require different types of cabinets. They have require different homes. And we're seeing those kind of changes. So we have to adapt to that, but we're still not falling behind in the housing market either. We have 250 new homes going in on McDonald Road, and going to be high quality homes. So Mark, how does a business like yours adapt to those kind of things for changes for people?
Well, you're right. There's the ADA, American Disabilities Act, and you do need certain clearances and tolerances for apartments that have to meet those requirements, and there are cabinets that are designed exactly for that purpose.
And hardware as well, the hardware that goes on them as well for people that have, handling problems. But I think as the city of Elgin grows and we see changes come into our community, we're going to see more and more people moving here as well. And I think that we see businesses are growing. Our occupancy rate is for retail and for industrial now is that we're 97% occupied. Wow. So that indicates to me that we still have more room to grow. And our growth will be both to the east and to the west sides, and I think that is something that's going to be a challenge for all of us.
Sure. Speaking of the west side, now you're here on Davis Road. Now, how long have you been at this location?
I've been at this location since, I believe, 1983.
Wow, that far back.
Yes. The
There
years
was many folks here on this Davis Road in those days.
Not too many. No, it's still a growing area though, and we see transitions. We see changes here.
What brought you to Davis Road?
the size of the building, the availability of the parcel, and the fit was good for our needs. This was originally our millwork facility that we subsequently relocated to Carroll Stream and then moved our cabinetry operations from the east side of Elgin to this facility in 2001.
You've got a wonderful website, don't you?
We think so.
Well, and I think all the populace don't.
I think so too.
You get good response from it, don't you?
Today, almost all of our advertising is digital. The traditional advertising, the newspaper and print and billboards just doesn't seem to be as effective as social media.
Yeah, the modern aspect. We're about 3 minutes left, Mayor.
So, Mark, your business grew from being an Elgin-based business to more of a regional basis business, and you have facilities in other areas as well. You're not in the lumber business anymore, but you're in the cabinet business. And how do those two things fit? You said you had a millwork shop. You still do that type of work as well, correct?
Correct. I did leave a chapter out. We did sell the company in 2005 to a British concern. We were fortunate that it was before the collapse. We were not clairvoyant. We were just purely lucky, and did have the chance to buy the company back in 2009, and could have gone back into the lumber and the millwork and the truss business. But at that point, realizing that housing had not bottomed out, chose only just to go into the cabinetry business, because cabinets, there was a pretty good remodeling following, which you don't have with lumber and trusses and millwork.
Wow. That's quite the spirit of Elgin to sell it and then buy it back.
It is, and I think that you speak of the spirit of Elgin, and I think I'd like to wrap up and talk a little bit about what the Siegel family has done. It's not just businesses just don't take away; they give back to as well. And there's a auditorium out at Elgin Community College with the Siegel name on it, and there's a sign in the rec center with the Siegel name on it as well. And the foundation and Mark and his family have given back to the community. Mark, would you like to talk about what the foundation does?
We feel it's one of the key characteristics of a successful company is part of the culture and giving back to the community. And thank you for bringing it up, but we're pretty proud of the mark we've left on this community. We've been successful. Elgin has been very good to us, so it was imperative that we give back to Elgin, and we continue to do so.
Wonderful. Again, we're down to 1 minute now. If Grandpa had stayed with his last name originally, the auditorium would be called what?
Chaimovich.
Could we spell that?
If he can't, how could I?
We're going to Chaimovich Auditorium.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful story, man. We got about 30 seconds left.
Jeff, this is just the first in a series. I'd like to talk about doing some other things, and we'd like to do some things that may be a little bit more creative. And we're going to do some things maybe that might surprise some people. So there are some surprises for us in the next couple months, and we'll look forward to doing the program again this year.
Nothing's more creative than being right here in your great showcase that you have for us.
Thank you. An honor to be part of the program.
All right. I'm going to try out my new air name, Jeff Chaimovich. Am I close?
Good luck.
All right. From the Siegel, we appreciate all your good work in the community and this
Thank you,
great
Jeff.
shop right here on Davis Road.
Great. Thank you.
Mayor, as always, you're a charm.
Thank you. We'll see you next
Your
month.
Christmas was good, wasn't it?
It's good.
All right. That's our first segment with Mayor David Captain here in the new year. Elgin Today recently spoke with Amanda Harris, the City of Elgin's Cultural Arts Manager, and she talks about 3 new workshops slated to take place here at the Hemmons Cultural Center in the lower level during the month of January.
Yeah, so this year, the Cultural Arts Commission is hosting 3 new workshops for artists and arts organizations, creative individuals, all around the Fox Valley area as a response to areas they felt like they needed help and assistance. The first one is really titled Audience Diversity and Engagement, and it's all about how you do exactly that. And that is going to be taught by Dawn Frisbee Byers. She's a marketing consultant. The second one is Marketing Boot Camp for Artists. That's January 18th. And we're bringing in Cece Dattisman for that. We're really excited. And the last one is Building Arts and Business Partnerships. That's on January 25th. And that's with Jessica Stern of Americans for the Arts.
Wonderful. As you mentioned, you have to register and all go from 1 to 5 each Saturday. Is that right?
They do, yeah. And the fun and unique thing about these is each of these is going to have an after workshop event. And we're going to post that on the Facebook pages and on the website as well. So check those for what those after event happenings are going to be. This is something sponsored by the Elgin Cultural Arts Commission. We have out grants every year, but those organizations said, we really need help in some areas. And so, I don't know everything, surprisingly, right? So we decided to reach out to some of the folks who do have the expertise to address those issues voiced by those folks.
All right. Amanda, anything else for us?
Not about those workshops, no, but we do have one fun thing coming. The Elgin Fringe Festival is expanding this year to have a winter mini fringe, which is going to be really exciting. So we're partnering with the Grumpy Goat. They are one of our venues for regular fringe down at Elgin Public House here in downtown, but for the winter mini fringe, we wanted to go somewhere new, experience new audiences. So we're going to be at the Grumpy Goat. It's going to be January 25th, and we have a new lineup that'll be posted soon. Go to elginfringefestival.com and tickets will be on sale there.
And the regular Fringe Festival was your most successful one this year, wasn't it?
It sure was. Yeah, we had a huge Fringe Festival this year, and so we're hoping to keep growing. So this is our first of 2 outside of our regular Fringe Festival events. The next one will be in April, so stay tuned.
We're getting a chance here in the first month of the year to talk with Kate O'Leary, Special Events Coordinator for the City of Elgin. Kate, you're still relatively new on the job,
I
aren't you?
am, yes, about 9 months.
It's been exciting, hasn't it?
Extremely.
When we look to January, we also think about the great February event that is part of your campaign, isn't it?
Yes, our big February event is the Daddy-Daughter Dance. that we have every year. It's always very successful. It's really sweet. It's one of my favorites. It's nice to have everyone come out. All the
As a
little-
youngster, were you involved in that?
I wasn't super involved until I got a little older, and then yes, I did drag my dad as almost.
that right?
Yeah, yes.
Do you have pictures?
I don't.
Oh, that would be fun. The date of that will be?
This date this year will be February 7th and 8th, 2020.
We should remind everybody that fills up quickly. That's your most popular event for the city, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We do recommend getting your tickets early. You can certainly call here at the center and talk to one of our representatives. They can get you signed up. You can also go online at our website and buy tickets through the City of Elgin website.
All right, we should advise everybody to do that. How many folks do you accommodate? How many youngsters?
Total of over 400 between the two nights for sure, between the dads and the daughters. A lot of dads have multiple little princesses that they
that's
bring,
so
which is
nice.
very sweet. We usually have about 400 people that come over the 2 days.
The daddy-daughter dance has been so popular through the years. That's great. And again, the dates will be?
The dates are February 7th and February 8th, 2020.
And we're right here as we talk with you from the Edward Chalk Center of Elgin. It's right in the Heritage Ballroom, isn't it?
It is, yes, right down this way to the Heritage Ballroom. It'll be completely transformed as we do every year. Our theme this year is The Princess and the Frog.
Oh, my.
Yes.
I'm playing the frog this year. I don't know what Ribbit. It's so cute. Who came up with that theme? Is that you?
Actually, this one was me. I know that Fred Wims, who does a lot of the designs
Yes.
for him, he was looking for it a couple of years ago and maybe even last year, I don't know, but it's always been one of my
Is that
favorite
right?
stories. So we kind of are collaborating on that to make it really magical.
Fred Wims is the genius on Nightmare on Chicago Street. So what does he do for you in this situation?
He's a master at pretty much everything that he does.
Everything, yeah.
At everything, all of Elgin. He's an artist first and foremost,
Sure.
and he's also a master. His productivity and the way he builds these props and this artwork is just phenomenal. So
Well,
he
then
does all the beautiful visuals.
Is it?
Yes, I just
Is-
organize the logistics of it. He does everything else.
Is there a 6-foot frog that he'll create for us?
I can't divulge
Oh,
secrets. You'll
my.
just have to come and find out.
Remind us those dates again.
February 7th and February 8th, 2020.
What's our phone number here at the center of
The
Elgin?
center of Elgin is going to be 847-531-7000.
And website, we should go up there and get those tickets.
You can just go to cityofelgin.org and get directed through there. You can also call our 311 center if you need help navigating that website.
It happens quickly in January, but January 4, it's open house for the Eastside Recreation Center. They have made so many fabulous changes lately.
They have, yes. The Eastside Recreation Center is just completely on the up and up. They have an open house on January 4th from 9 to 11. It is definitely something you should check out. They've been doing improvements all this year, and they've got big things on the horizon. Yes, yeah.
They always have that open house soccer and many good things like that. And the address?
It's 1080 East Chicago Street.
And we can phone ahead?
You certainly can.
All right. We can do all that. And lots of weights. I'm not scrawny, but I can work out there. Is that
Oh,
right? A lot of
absolutely.
weights?
Their entire basement is just a whole weight room. It is,
right.
the main floor you've got the soccer field, indoor soccer field, some boxing areas, but downstairs it really rivals what we've got here as far as machinery goes and with free weights, things like that.
Kate O'Leary, our special events coordinator for the past 9 months. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being with us. And now a few words about Elgin U.S. Census 2020. The census for this year is critical for determining federal funding to our community and much more. Experts estimate each individual counted in Elgin could mean as much as $1,500 for federal funding for this year and for the next 10 years. You can learn more about Census 2020 as far as volunteering or even working for the census by going online. Remember, Census 2020 is so important to the city of Elgin this year. This edition of Elgin Today brings a new segment to the program about why people chose Elgin as their city to live in. Here, our first interview tells us why she chose Elgin as her city to call home.
The people, when we moved in, the neighbors introduced themselves. People walked from across the street. We met Victor and Don and Phil, and there was a real warmth about it. And I'm not saying that other communities might not have that, but I haven't had that in another community. I've had it here. Coming new, I see anew for the first time all of these really positive, beautiful aspects of this place. It's not like any other city. It's a city, but it's a small city. It's navigable. It's got community. It's got all these things going for it. So I just want to notice all those things and enjoy them.
You can learn more about the information you saw here in Elgin today or about city services, programs, and events by going to the Elgin website at www.cityofelgin.org. And now the City of Elgin has a 311 contact center. Elgin 311. Call, click, connect by calling 311, the city's information and request resource. Elgin Today was produced for the City of Elgin by One Source Productions. I'm Jeff Myers. Thanks for watching Elgin Today.